Excuse me. Welcome to another episode of Horror and Coffee. This is Ralph Perez, your host, and I have two great co-hosts with me for this special episode that we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th, the franchise, our top 5 favorite moments from Friday the 13th. We actually, for the three of us, picked out our 5, and I have a weird feeling that a lot of our favorite moments are going to be pretty much more or less the same. Because there's only so few, there's so many few things here. But anyway, like I said, I'm Ralph Perez. My co-host is Alex Figueroa from Ultra HD Geek, and he knows his 4Ks, his Blu-rays, and his collectibles. Keep on the lookout for that. I also have here Star Wars extraordinaire Jamel Lopez. He has a Facebook page called Jedi vs. the Dark Side. Check out his Facebook page and click like on that one. All right. As we continue on, please consider subscribing to Horror and Coffee if you're into horror, if you're into all the kinds of pop culture things that's around horror, even stuff like Star Wars and all that. I do that too. Please click on the subscribe button below and tap on that bell for future notifications. Well, Friday the 13th. This is something I haven't spoken about, guys, in a long time. Okay? And I got stories. I don't know if you got stories. Let's start with stories, and then we'll get into the top 5. Jamel. What? Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. What? Jamel went.
Yeah, Scooby.
You went. Jamel, tell me about. Can you share with us your first time watching Friday the 13th in the movies, and which film was it?
My first Friday the 13th film in the movie theaters was actually, I think it was 7. Yeah, 7, The New Blood.
The New Blood. Okay, that's the one with the girl with the psychic powers, if I'm right.
Yeah, Tina.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one where Tina is the psychic, and she has like these powers. That
she was like Carrie and shit. It was like Carrie versus Jason.
The producers actually dubbed her the Jason's Destroyer.
That's what they called it. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they called her Jason's Destroyer, and I like the way they made that character because she sticks out different than all the other female characters in Friday the 13th.
Because she stood up to him. Everybody else is running. Help me.
Yeah.
Help me.
Yeah, there was no like running and then fall, like traditional run and fall like for like 2 seconds and then run again.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. But the thing is that 7 was good, but it lacked the nostalgia of the slasher films. That feeling that you get.
Oh yeah, of course.
When you know that the person's gonna get killed soon. You get that feeling like it. Every time you watch a Friday the 13th movie, you're like, every time you hear a ma, 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 he's near.
No, I think he didn't go ma 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 ma. He went ha 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 ha, not ma 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 ma.
No, it was ma ma ma. Yeah.
He said ma ma ma.
Well,
all these years I've been saying it wrong.
The creator that made that sound effect has stated that the way that he wanted it was going to be kill, 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 ma 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 ma.
Well, I've heard kill, kill, kill.
Yeah, kill, 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 but it says ma ma ma. So it's like kill, 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 ma ma ma.
That's not so big.
I didn't know that. I thought it was.
They actually explain it in the documentary.
Oh, hold that up a little bit. What's that? What you got there?
It's called Crystal Lake Memories: The Complete Story of Friday the 13th franchise.
Oh.
So they go from Friday the 13th Part 1 all the way to the reboot.
Okay.
And they actually tell you the stories of what happened in production, post-production. They tell you how much money each film made, what was the lowest movie that made money.
Okay.
They also talk about, the the transition from Paramount Pictures to
New
New
Line?
Line, because they tried to get the Jason versus Freddy film done, but in order to do that, they needed to have like just be in one production.
Right.
And they explain why, how come this movie was like so delayed so many times.
Okay.
So it's interesting. Trust me, if you're a Friday the 13th fan, I would say get it, because it is a very long documentary. Very long. It's like 2 discs.
I believe I like to believe that any Friday the 13th fan out there would actually enjoy something like that. I definitely want to grab a copy of that. Alex, what is your memory? What movie did you first see in the movie theater? Now I know you were just a zygote when when the movies first came out, but tell me your experience.
I can say my only one that I went to see in the theater was Freddy versus Jason. I didn't see any I didn't see any other standalones. Let's just put it that way. So mine was actually Freddy versus Jason in 2003, I think, because I'm looking at it here.
Yes, I remember that because I went to
Mm-hmm.
see. That was one of the first things Sandy and I did right after we came back from our honeymoon.
Right.
We double dated with a couple other friends to go see it. So
Yeah, so like that came out on August 15th. I'm looking here too. So when I saw it, I think I was with my wife at the time. Well, she was my girlfriend. I believe so. We went to see this, and I remember coming out the theater going, "What the hell did I just see?" Like,
you didn't understand?
no. Meaning like they really greenlighted this. Like I know a lot of people like, man, it's not as bad, but I felt like they did not understand the characters.
Okay.
Like enough to make this movie. So like when I saw it in the theater, was I Googie Gaga? Hell yeah, because I was like, man, Freddy versus Jason on screen. I'm like, yeah. So I wanted to see like Ash versus Pinhead or something. Like that was like that would have been so awesome.
That would have
like,
been a thought.
Yeah.
think about that. Like he just the Necronomicon just sends him right into where Hellraiser is. And then he goes like, "What's your pleasure?" And he goes, "Chainsaw." He comes out with like something stupid. But anyway, look, my only big thing about this Jason versus Freddy is I think they did not understand the characters. I felt like the person that wrote this script, well, it says Wes Craven characters, but the person that wrote this script, I think, did not do enough research on both characters.
Person or persons?
Persons, whoever the hell wrote this thing. Let me see. I'll pull up who wrote these movies. It was 2 people. It was Mark Swift and Damon Shannon. So those 2 people did not do their research on Freddy and Jason. I believe. I mean, everyone knows that when Freddy Krueger's in the dream world, he's more powerful than when he's out the dream world. Same as Jason. When Jason is in Crystal Lake, he's more stronger than when he's out of Crystal Lake. So, but what happens in the movie? Jason rips out Freddy from the movie. I mean, from the dream world. All of a sudden, my man's kung fu fighting. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, he was like kung fu fighting.
Well, it's funny you should bring that up because the producer that they picked for that film, surprisingly, never saw a Friday the 13th movie or a Nightmare on Elm Street film before he started making this film.
Smart. Who the hell made that decision?
Yeah. That's stupid. Like, you could see how, like, when he was even in the dream world, I was like, okay, this is very Freddy Krueger, him pinging him everywhere. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And let me just tell you, there was a lot of good scenes in that movie.
There were.
Like, when they were in the hospital and all the dead people rose and they pointed, like, Freddy's here. And I was like, oh, man, this is cool.
Okay.
But then it just went. Pew.
You know what you're doing right now, Alex? We're getting into our favorite moments in the Friday the 13th.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But anyway, in terms of your thing, Freddy versus Jason was my movie I went to see in the theater. Was it crap? Yes, but I kind of enjoyed the experience of being in the theater, watching these 2 juggernauts of horror going at each other. That's what I could say. Now, Ralph, what was your movie that you saw? Was it 1 through 13?
No. Actually, there's only 2 that I could think of. One I'm going to mention real quick, but the other one I'm going to get into a little bit more. The first one was when I first went to the movies with a friend of mine at night. I was 15, okay? And it was to see Friday the 13th, the final chapter, part 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I remember it was a Friday night, and the movie theater was crowded. It was the Lois Paradise Theater on the Grand Concourse near Fordham Road. For those of you who grew up around there, you know what I'm to speak of. And it was like we were in a concert. People were yelling and screaming, and things were when Jason threw himself through the glass and grabbed little Tommy, Tommy, right? That was his name.
Yeah.
Everybody was screaming. Ah! You can hear the scream, but that was okay because the screaming came and stopped at the right time, so you could still hear what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was so much fun. So much fun, like those were the days, man. That was movie going right there, pure entertainment. Now, the second time, and it was the same theater, same Lowe's Paradise, was part 5, A New Beginning. Same friend. And Alex, I told you this story before.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Jamel knows it. That was where I had my first. My first kiss, actually.
Ooh, he got the choo-choo and cha-cha.
Well, here's what happened.
He did the popcorn trick.
It wasn't. You gotta let me tell the story, bro. You can't do this to me. All right. What happened was, my friend and I and my cousin, my small cousin, my cousin Eric. It was the three of us. We went to see part 5, A New Beginning, and this is aside from the fact that the movie was just god awful, but that's another topic. We went to see it, and in those times you could see the movie. You can walk in on the movie if you miss the beginning of it, and then you just wait for it to replay, and they let you sit. It's not like now that they tell you get out. We gotta clean.
Get your ass out and pay a ticket.
Yeah, exactly. so we sat and waited, but when we were there, these 2 girls came in, right?
Ooh.
And they were sitting right in front of us initially, and my friend Tony knew them. He knew who they were. I didn't know who they were. I was 15. I was a couple weeks short of turning 16. And they joined us. They kind of like sat in, like Tony and one girl sat right behind us, and the other girl sat. I forgot the girl's name. I think it started with an R too. I don't know. Mm-hmm. She sat next to me here, and this was the first time. My heart was racing because I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to act. I really. Let me tell you something, guys. I wasn't.
Get the heart machine down standby.
Huh?
Get the heart machine down standby.
No, I was not. I mean, she was pretty, absolutely, and I didn't know how to. I tried my best to play it cool, right? And I guess it worked because at some point, I had Tony. Oh, I remember. Tony went like this because he knew me. He knew I was like shy. So he was like, Ralph, what's that on your arm? And I was like, what? What's on my arm? Let me see your arm. Let me see. And he grabbed my arm and put it around her.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, shit. I was so worried, right? Because I was scared of rejection, That's the main fear. Let's be blunt. That's what it came down to, right? Eventually, as the movie progressed, we were watching the movie. She started. Hi, Ellie. She started. But happy anniversary, by the way, Jamel.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy anniversary. Not birthday.
She just walked away. She goes, screw you people.
So she started drawing my arm down, like closer to her, so that she could get closer to me right here, right? And then, before I knew it, we were kissing. I had just met the girl.
Hey!
Thank Jason for that.
Yeah, thank Jason. It's close to midnight. Horror's coming on the doom doom doo doo doo. Are you scared? I think you're scared.
This is 1985. I remember this was 1985. I was still in high school, and that was the very first time I experienced that. You know, like I that's the first time I made out with a girl, straight up. So, what happened afterwards was, you know, we went to, I dropped them off. I went home, and what I remember when I went home, I had to like really, I was so shocked that happened. That I was like pondering this shit. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I was done. And a couple of days later, I'm trying to talk to Tony. Yo, Tony, when are we going to get together? I would like to see her again. And Tony on the phone told me, Ralph, I'm going to be straight up right. She wants nothing to do with you. I was like, why? Okay. What happened? And it was just for that night, man, for that day. It was during the day that happened. It was for that day. That's it. You don't take it seriously. Some girls just want to, like, do that. And I was like, oh. You know, I was really naive at the time. I didn't know. But I do have to thank Jason. Jamel is right. That was my experience.
Yep. Hey, it's not bad.
Nothing like that
Jason
ever happened
helped
again.
you out. He was your wingman.
Ralph was the first Friday the 13th statistic.
Pretty much.
Dead on arrival.
Dead on arrival. I was a loser, you know, whatever.
The loser club.
He was like, what? You made out? You're screwed!
I was like, damn, Jason hates me. But that's all right, because I hated that movie right back. Because that movie was it was the case of a copycat. It wasn't really Jason throughout the whole movie.
No.
Right? So that was the whole point of it. All right. That being said, gentlemen, let's talk about our favorite 5. How do you guys want to do this? We could start with 5, and then we'll go around to our 5s and go down to 1.
That's good. That's good.
All right.
Yeah,
Jamel.
that's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, Jamel. Let's do that. Let's start with your 5.
My number 5.
Your number 5.
My number 5. My number 5 is Friday the 13th, Part 3.
Okay.
And the scene was the handstand death, where there was a character that was with his girlfriend in the bathroom. She asked for a beer. And he says, okay, let me go and get the beer. So instead of actually walking like a normal person, this guy decides to do a handstand and walk like upside down. And all of a sudden, you see Jason with his machete, and he literally just chops the guy from how would you say, from
he split the X.
all the way down. He split the apple. Let's just say it, and he just went like,
oh
Yeah.
God, yes. I remember. When you saw it, was it in 3D or?
Was it 2D, 3D?
It was 2D when I saw it.
Oh, okay. All right, because that movie was one of those
But if
3D ones.
but if you get the new Blu-ray version of it,
Yeah.
you get the 3D glasses, so you can watch it in 3D.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm. When
pretty
they
cool.
re-released Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D, they actually had 2 versions: the 3D version and the 2D version.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So it was.
Is there, Alex? You're the 4K expert. Is there a 4K version of all these
No.
films out yet? Okay, I'll wait.
I think Friday the 13th 1 is coming out on 4K.
I would only get the first 4.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
me, because the first 4, as far as I'm concerned, are the only real legit ones. The other ones, fine, whatever. But anyway, Alex, what
Yes.
is your 5?
My 5 is when Jason killed the fat dude with the chocolate bar.
Oh, you're so wrong.
Which movie was that?
I think that was part 2. Oh, part 5. Yeah, part 5. Remember the
Oh.
chocolate bar kid? He's the fat dude, and he was like eating the chocolate, and I'm like, I can never remember the names, but he's eating the chocolate, and then Jason comes and gets he gets so good. Yeah, he just drops the chocolate. He's like, and all this is all nasty. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, what's wrong with you,
You like
man?
that one? Dang, that's funny.
Well, remember you said in our meeting, you said it could be any scene from any movie from any point in time, correct?
Yeah.
And trust me, there's been a lot of characters down the line in that franchise that were either disabled or mentally challenged, and they still got killed.
Yeah, even the kid with the wheelchair. You got it too. All right, Ralph. What's yours?
Mine's is from we talked about it earlier. Freddy versus Jason.
Okay.
The scene when Freddy pulled Jason into his nightmare, into Jason's nightmare. Mm-hmm. Jason was reliving his when he drowned as a boy. So you see him drowning in the lake, and all the kids are making fun of him. All of a sudden, you see Freddy pop up and grab him and take him down under the water. That was good. I thought that was like, wow. Like, in other words, I liked the idea that Freddy tried to do to Jason at that point what he's famous for doing, right? Like, welcome to my nightmare, so to speak. So now you're mine, and that's what he was doing to Jason, and I liked that. I liked how he was trying to break him in that way. And, of course, it was part of the whole back and forth between those two that was, that if you watch the movie, you know what I mean. That was my number 5. I really enjoyed that one very much.
Did you ever, Ralph, wonder when you saw that scene, it was like, how the hell can you kill something that's already dead? Like, literally go back into his subconscious, into that one moment in that time where when he drowned, and then try to kill him just like that.
Well, if you think about it, that same question could apply to all his victims in the whole Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, right?
Yeah.
Because it's really basically the same question. How can you kill somebody in their dreams?
Right.
And that's what was happening to Jason in that film.
Right.
And that's what I appreciated. The appreciated that Jason, for the first time that I ever saw him, he played the role of a victim to another, monster. So, that, and I liked that moment of fragility. I liked that moment of, for a little while, it was like, yeah, Jason, see how you like it. You know what I mean? Like that.
I like how they kept the character as a mongoloid rather than changing the character to like a regular kid.
Yeah.
Because when they did the first Friday the 13th, Jason's image of how he looked was a mongoloid.
Yeah. What do you mean by a mongoloid?
That's what they called it. That's what they called it.
That's what they called it?
Yeah, that's what they called him, a mongoloid.
He's a Mongolian.
No, that's where the word is coming. Okay, no, he's not a Mongolian.
I didn't say Mongolia. I said mongoloid.
Mongoloid.
I gotta look up what that word means. I don't know what that word means. I don't have a dictionary right now, but screw it. Anyway.
Okay.
Number 4.
4.
What is your number 4, Jamel? What is your number 4? I'm rolling up my sleeves on this one.
My number 4 is Friday the 13th Part 2. And Alex, I'm glad you brought up the wheelchair guy, because that's the scene where the wheelchair guy gets it and goes down the stairs. Like literally down the stairs. Like, with
the machete right through him, yeah.
And it's funny because through that whole film, everyone's making out but him. But then when he finally gets to make out with a girl, you kind of feel sorry for him. Like, hey, this guy's gonna die. Really, he's probably gonna get the worst end of it. Yeah, he did. He got the machete in the face.
Yeah, straight in the face.
Literally.
Yeah, it was bad because, and it's sad because he was trying to go get ready. He was preparing to have, because the idea is in Friday the 13th movies, you have sex, you die. Right? That's the rule. In Friday the 13th, you have sex, you die. He didn't even have sex. He died. He just kissed. Anyway. Very good. Alex, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, okay.
When Like, I mean, I brought it up when they're in the hospital.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And everyone pointed when Freddy, like, everything turned on, the boiler room. Like,
oh man,
I was like, this is so freaking awesome. But again, like, it was. I thought that scene was very well done when he collected all the souls to come back, because I think that's what it was, right? Jason kept killing, and then Freddy got stronger.
Right, like the idea was he was using Jason to get more souls so he can get more power so he could come back.
Yeah.
But not only that, but he wanted Jason to kill all those people because they all forgot him.
Yeah.
He wanted them to remember who he was.
Yeah.
But instead of remembering Freddy, they met Jason. So basically, how can you remember Freddy if everybody's getting killed by Jason?
He was jealous.
He was mad. He was like, "Ugh." But
he was jealous, Freddy.
That was my favorite
Jelly
scene.
Freddy.
Actually, from the whole movie, I think that was like my favorite scene from that whole movie. I thought that was a very cool moment in the movie.
I think we need to come back one day and do a favorite Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's hands down. I could tell you right now.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll do that another time.
I can tell you right now.
Hey, anybody who watches this video, comment below. What do you think? Do you think we should do that? Talk to us. Let us know. You would like us to talk about Jelly Freddy? Anyway,
we can even do a Chucky one.
I'm not big on Chucky. I don't know, something about I was like the first movie, okay, and then that was it. Okay, my number. Wait, how were we doing
4.
this?
Yeah, you're next, Rob.
I'm next.
You're 4.
Okay, my number 4 is what I like to call the deep freeze. Okay, I think you know what I speak of. Jason X, right? That whole thing when they like put him in some kind of sleep state or whatever, and he wakes up 200 years in the future in outer space in a ship or something, if I'm correct. So it became a sci-fi horror movie, right? They should have had him fight the Xenomorph. Tell me that wouldn't be hot.
That would have been pretty good.
I would have paid for that. I would have paid for that.
He would have lost, but it would have been pretty good.
He would have lost.
He would have got
that joint would have tore him apart. That would have been it.
He would have lost, but then again, he would have came back somehow.
Yeah, of course. That's how it works, right?
He would have been a Jason Morph.
It would come out of his chest, but he would get up and walk away from it. He
He'll
wouldn't. I would.
It would give like a gremlin.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I call this the deep freeze because in that movie there's a scene where and this is when he just comes out of the freeze. He didn't really become the this half machine thing that you see later on in that film, but he's still kind of Jason for all intents and purposes. He grabs this girl that was in the lab and he sticks her head in this solution. I think it was like, I don't know, frozen nitrogen or something. And
yeah, I think it was nitrogen.
And he pulls, and it froze her entire head. And when he pulled her out, and then he took her head and smashed it into bits. And he just threw it to the side. I was like, I fell on the floor. There was nothing scary about that. It was hilarious. It was funny. And I guess at that point, it speaks volumes about the franchise in and of itself, because I felt like the kills were becoming not only more different and more unique, but they were not funny anymore. They were not scary anymore. They were funny. It was like I was watching a Tom and Jerry cartoon. Remember all the stuff that the flat, ping, that kind of thing, slamming to the wall. That I started Friday the 13th started doing that.
And you know what it trickled down to? Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
It was the same. Freddy Krueger got the same. He had the power glove, the Nintendo power glove. Remember that?
Well, Freddy Krueger could do anything he wants.
Yeah, but still, it just became comical. Like,
it did.
Anyway,
it did. He became very, very comical.
Yep.
Okay, number 3. What's our number 3 moment? Jamel, what's your number 3 moment?
My number 3 moment is Friday the 13th, Part 4.
Ooh,
and
nice.
This is probably one of the funniest moments because I never thought that this would happen.
Okay.
It's called the death is called taking a poop death. You know that scene where that guy's in the
Porta
what do you call
potty?
the porta potty? And
The
Yeah.
African American dude?
Yeah,
That's
he's
not
singing to
part
the girl.
4.
That's not part
Oh,
4.
that's not part 4.
That's part
No.
5.
That's part. No, is it part 5?
Yeah.
It's
I
either
think it
part
was
5 or
part-
6. I believe it's part 5. I'm having a hard time, but it's definitely not part
Okay, so let me just change that.
4.
Let me just change that.
It's okay. It's okay.
It would have to be the ending of part 4 because they basically just gave you that inkling that how could a child like Tommy be so brave against Jason?
Yeah.
Take him down. But then all of a sudden, he gives you that stare.
You
face
see that look.
in the end.
Mhm.
That look like, okay, he snapped. You know.
We thought that too.
Yeah, we actually thought that he's gonna be the next Jason.
Yeah, it's quick.
And it's funny because that's what they were originally going to do for part 5. They were going to have Corey Feldman come back and reprise his role as Tommy, but unfortunately, Corey Feldman had such a long work. He was working on the Goonies at the time, so he couldn't come back. So what they did was for part 5, they actually went to Corey Feldman's house and shot the first 5 or 10 minutes of part 5 when he's walking to the grave of Jason, and he sees him come up, and that's when they end his character.
Oh, okay.
So the ending of part 4 is probably like, it speaks volumes if you know where this movie was going.
It's funny.
Unfortunately, it didn't go that way.
It's funny because I remember, like I told you guys, I saw part 4 in the movie theater at night with my friend Tony, and when that very shot that you're talking about, Jamel, happened, when when he opened his eyes and looked into the screen, you hear the real quick, real quiet.
Yeah.
Everybody screamed and lost their minds, and then it went white. That's one of the things I enjoyed, especially with the first 4 films, that it would, when something crazy would happen, it would fade into not black but into white.
Yeah.
That's one of the unique things about the franchise.
That they actually did that for the first 4 films.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Right. They didn't
Yeah.
really, I mean, they might have done it with 5. I don't remember. Again, 5 at 5 and up is kind of like a little bit of a blur more for me, because I didn't really enjoy those movies very much.
Well, 5 wasn't supposed to happen because Mancuso Jr. didn't really want to do 5.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because he said 4 was going to be the end. He wanted to end it in 4. It made sense.
I get that.
To end it in 4.
All right, Alex, what's your? We're on number 3 now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I say Friday the 13th 3, 1982, and I say when he crushes Rick's head and his eyes pop out. Remember that? He was like, oh, his eyes was like, yeah, and it went.
And when you were wearing those 3D glasses at the time, back in the theaters, I'm sure that made everybody bug out.
It was like,
you see this eye like right there, like it said, "Hi," like it
was, that was
"Hi, I'm I." It was just
I to meet you. It is I to meet you.
Ay. Okay.
All right, number 3, Ralph. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is actually from the same film, Alex. It's from Friday the 13th, Part 3. And it was towards the end when he's in the barn. And he chops down that, he's chasing the final girl, if you remember the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's after her in the barn, and a guy that he thought he had killed earlier was still alive. It happened to be one of the motorcycle guys.
Yeah.
And as he's finishing him off, she picks up the axe, and when he turns around, she drives the axe into his head, right here, through the mask, into his head, and then you see him go like this. And in 3D, it was like he's like this, right? So, and she's like, no, like I saw a real terror there. right? And that moment was amazing because one of the things I appreciated throughout, even going into the later films, 5, 6, and moving on, is that whenever you saw Jason wearing his mask, you still saw that mark on his mask, that cut there, that reminded you, that it always reminded me of that moment at the end of part 3.
Right.
And I liked that. I appreciated that. It's not like he had a new mask that didn't have that, even though that eventually started happening really towards the end. Which ticked me off. I'm like, what's that, a new mask? You bought it or something? You went to Modell's and went to the hockey section? What the heck? So anyway, I got ticked about that. But for when it lasted, that chop, and he went like this, and then he fell, perfect. That was my number 3. Jamel, what is your number 2?
Number 2.
My number 2 is Friday the 13th, Part 7. And it's the infamous sleeping bag home run. Let me tell you.
Describe the scene. Describe the scene, Jamel.
Love the creativity of that.
Which is that the dream? Not dream. The one you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, the New Blood.
The New Blood. Okay.
The New Blood, where Kane Hodder he literally grabs the girl, and he just swings her and hits the tree in one shot.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's funny because in the but in the documentary it shows that that scene had to be cut down at least 4 times because
why? She started getting a headache? What happened?
No, originally they had said that when they did that scene, they wanted the scene where he was hitting the girl on the tree.
Yeah.
That you see like gallons of blood come out of the sleeping bag. And back in the day, these horror films had to go through a certain company.
Yeah.
To get chopped down, and I would say like every other single Friday the 13th film had to go through a process where they had to cut down certain scenes because it was X-rated. It was either X-rated or too gory.
When you say X-rated, Jamel, I don't know, man. You know, like when I saw Jason Takes Manhattan, that's not what I was thinking about.
Well,
right?
No,
like...
but Friday the 13th Part 5 wasn't a PG-13 film.
Well, I figured that it'll be R or whatever, right? But X?
That during that time they would say X.
I guess so, because at that time, if it got real too much, it was rated X. And now you think rated X, you're thinking porn or something. Okay.
Yeah. But
can't imagine
me,
Jason in that. I'm sorry, it doesn't work.
Yeah, but that scene was like, I can every time I see Friday the 13th Part 7, I'm just waiting for that one scene just to crack up. Because it's like the most funniest scene through that whole film.
It was definitely unique. I remember that scene. I know what you're talking about. Alex, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Jason X. When they finally thought that they killed him, and then his body parts went into the machine that regenerated him. Oh my God! Then he came out like Super Shredder from like Terminator from yeah. All of a sudden he became like T-1000. He just started to like.
More like the J-1000.
Yeah, J-1000, the Choo Choo Cha Cha edition. The Choo Choo Cha Cha 1000. Like,
and he used to breathe, right? You saw his body.
Yeah, he was her. And then he had that one red eye. He was like that little red eye.
Yeah.
And then, but I mean, I ain't gonna lie though. When he became Super Shredder or whatever you want to call him, he looked pretty cool. Like I was like, you know what? He looked pretty cool. I mean, the movie. I mean,
Jason
it is what
2.0 and shoot.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought the design for him was pretty cool. I was like, you know what? That looked pretty cool. He looked sick. He just got upgraded. But go ahead, Ralph. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is the end of part 2, Friday the 13th Part 2. The part when you think they got rid of Jason. They were able to get rid of him, and the guy and the girl go into somewhere, and they think that Jason's there under a blanket, and then she's holding the rake. That's a rake, right?
Yeah.
She's holding it, and he lifts up the thing, and it's a little cat, I think, or a dog, or whatever. I forgot the animal. I think it was a cat. And they were like, "Ooh, little kitty, coochie, coochie, coo." And then, boom, through the window comes Jason and grabs the girl and takes off with her in slow motion. And you see his face, because at this point, in part 2, he didn't have the hockey mask yet. He was actually walking around with like a bag over his head, with a hole for his one good eye, right? So he crashes through the glass, grabs the girl, whisks away. Let me tell you something. That was a very terrifying moment. And I didn't go to the movies to see that, but I'm sure people were losing their minds, too, when that came in the theater, because at that time period, nobody ever really saw something like that before in theaters.
No. Well, high quality, they had said that was those scenes that you mentioned, that they go in slow motion and they fade to the white.
Yeah.
Those are actually dream sequences.
Yes.
They had said that this would be what if Jason didn't, would actually get them. This is what it would happen,
right?
And then all of a sudden they fade the white, and all of a sudden they're either on a bed in the hospital, or getting put into an ambulance, or just going wacko like the girl from part 3.
I get that.
It's like trauma, too much trauma, or something like that.
Yeah, it is too much
trauma for your mama.
Trauma for your mama. All right,
Jamel.
We are now at the number 1 famous moment. By the way, any of you people out there watching this, what are your favorite moments in the franchise? Please comment below. Share with us your moments. Maybe they're the same as some of ours. Jason, we're going to finally... I almost gave away my number 1. Jesus, I got so excited here. Jamel, what's your favorite number 1 Friday the 13th
My
moment?
number 1 favorite moment was from Freddy vs. Jason.
Okay.
And it's the scene where Freddy takes over the body of the stoner, the stoner character.
Yes.
Do you remember the stoner character, the guy that looked like a hippie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, trying to I think John Ritter's son, his real son, played another character. Was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" He's like, "Let me just handle this, bitch." And he literally stabs Jason with it looked like some kind of red liquid or something like that. He literally. This is when they actually put Jason to sleep, and at the same time, while he's doing that, Jason just comes up and just literally cuts the guy in half. It's like his top part goes one way and his bottom part goes the other.
He's like,
oh my god!
That's what I'm telling you. It's like the funniest thing. God, I can think of so many.
Let me just tell you, I always had an idea for Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
Because remember, Kelly Rowland was in this from Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
She was in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she had the worst scene.
Yeah, she had the worst scene. But I was like, man, if I was a writer, this was a perfect opportunity. With Freddy being a clown that he is, when she falls asleep, all of a sudden you hear the Bootylicious song come out, and it's called Freddylicious. And he goes, "Oh, can you handle this? Ooh, can you handle this? Freddy, can you handle this? I don't think you can handle this." And then he starts dancing with all the Destiny Child chicks. "I don't think you're ready for Freddy. I don't think you're ready for Freddy. Freddy's so bootylicious for you, game." I always thought of that. Like, that would have been a perfect freaking scene right there.
Oh, man.
He comes out dressed like one of the Destiny Child girls.
Oh, man.
Beyonce and the other one.
That's great. That's great.
But my number 1, you guys never even thought of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
this is Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh, that one. Okay.
That one. And this is it. Okay. This is it. Okay. This is gonna be the best. It's better. This is gonna be better than both of you guys.
You want me to hold on to something? Stay it, Alex.
when they whip out the Necronomicon from Jason
Right.
Voorhees'
Oh my God, that's right.
it was over. I was like, this is the best moment in history of the Freddy the thing.
You recognized it immediately, right, Alex?
Yeah, the minute the character picked up the book, I was like, that's the Necronomicon!
Oh my God. That's crazy. You know,
They should have had Ash come out.
They should
He
have.
opens it and then Ash just pops down like who
groovy.
are you?
Oh man, I forgot about that part. But you're right.
That's a big moment.
In that movie, Jason was possessing. His soul was possessing different people to do stuff, and then he came back eventually as himself. One funny kill there was if I maybe this is an honorable mention. I don't even know that he I don't know what he did to this woman.
He shut her up.
Yeah, pretty much. I think you know what I thought. He went, bye!
Yeah. He literally elbowed her and all this.
Yo! All of this was like way in the back of her head. It looked. I was laughing.
Oh man!
Oh guys, that joint was funny. Oh my God! Again, Tom and Jerry. It was a Tom and Jerry moment. It really was. Like it was like those. It's like those cartoons, those old cartoons. Like, like I swear.
But fun fact, because of the Necronomicon being in Jason Goes to Hell, they spawned a crossover between Ash Williams, Freddy Krueger, and Jason Voorhees. So there's a comic book out there with Ash. And
imagine a movie about that.
Yeah, there's a comic book called Jason versus Freddy versus Ash.
Imagine a movie.
It actually came out like right after the film was released.
That would have been so awesome. Mm-hmm. Bruce Campbell at his prime, that would have been so bad. That would have been so funny.
Oh man,
I could think of all the stuff.
Oh, me too. That's good, Alex. That was a great moment. Okay, here comes my number one.
What is your number one?
My number one moment is Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. The part when he was about to attack the girl. Attack the girl. He's attacking everybody. The girl, the main girl, towards the end, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he attacked somebody? Really? I didn't know that.
It's shocking.
Shocking. He's when he's down and he has her down, and then Tommy shaves his head real quick, right? I don't know how you do that in that stressful moment that you like. You know, you put.
Wait a minute. Is that the one? Is that the one Corey Feldman?
Yeah.
And he had the messed up hairdo.
Yeah, because he said his sister was getting attacked downstairs, so he went into the bathroom, looked at the old picture of Jason when he was a boy, and he started doing this joint real quick. He cut his hair, took off his glasses, he cut his hair, and he was shaving it. He had the whipped cream, the shaving cream, and then he comes down, Jason, and Jason stops and he looks at him. He pauses. That was a monumental moment. People were screaming in the theater. They were cheering. They were like, ah! Now you're going to get it. Like, it was like that kind of feeling in the theater. And he was like, remember, Jason, remember. Like, it was, it was that moment, right? And it was so cool. And then that was when he was able to distract him and long enough for have the girl attack him, and then that's when the mask comes off and you see his face, and then Tommy grabs the machete, and that's when the whole chopping down thing happens. But that was a monumental moment for me. That was one of the things that makes Friday the 13th the final chapter, in my opinion, the true final chapter. It didn't end with Jason Goes to Hell. It ended with the final chapter. Like, you can give me all these other movies, and I can watch them. I can laugh, and I can see the funny cartoon-like kills or whatnot. But when it comes to the actual feeling and tone and mood of the Friday the 13th series, the only true tone of that series was from the first film, Part 1, for the first film, all the way to the final chapter, Part 4. Right there. That's, in my opinion, the true Friday the 13th story. But that's my opinion. people will be like, "Oh, part of Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason versus Godzilla." It doesn't matter, right?
I can picture that. Big ass Godzilla. And Jason's like, cha 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 cha. Like, okay.
You know,
he starts chopping his nail. Like, come here. But,
yeah. So that's really it. My God, well, it's one of the greatest franchises, And I'm gonna make a daring statement right here. If it wasn't
greatest franchises of what? Like
in horror?
Really?
I think so.
You think?
I think so.
I mean, yeah.
What's your favorite? What do you think? One of them, not all, not but one of them.
I don't think any horror film can come close to Friday the 13th.
Wait. Whoa.
With all the films that they made.
Well, yeah, but you got to really think about like the ones that people are attached to, because I can't see people attached to 1 through 13 going like, oh my God, this is the best.
Well, that was the original idea. Was that when they made Friday the 13th, the original idea for Friday the 13th, how they were going to end it, was for it to be 1 through 4. But then after they made 5 and then they made 6, they changed their.
They started milking it, man.
Idea. They started milking it, but they also came up with an idea. Let's end it on the 13th film.
Right? No. But I mean, I'm just saying is that I can't. I mean, is it the? I don't think it's the greatest horror franchise. I mean, you could say character. I will agree with you. It's a great character in horror, but in terms of franchise, you can't put. It's not even top 5.
Well,
in terms of all the other,
and you know why it's probably not even top 5, because of all those other damn movies they made after Part 4.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
And they kept it at Part 4 and left it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's think about all the. I mean, you guys are horror guys. Think about the horror franchises out there. You have.
I think it would be hard. I think it would be hard to distinguish which was greatest.
Oh, that's a discussion for another time.
Because you would have to name all the horror franchises from back in the day, like Halloween,
Well, Halloween. If it wasn't
Jason,
for Halloween,
like
we wouldn't
Freddy, like Hellraiser, like Phantasm, or
Let me tell you, Halloween was the springboard to movies like Friday the 13th and other films like that, because the 80s was riddled with movies with a crazy killer with a mask of some sort, or a mask, or if not a mask, then something else. It continued some kind of Halloween springboarded all of that. Right. So that's why I always feel that Halloween, in my view, tops Friday the 13th to that extent. But Friday the 13th has earned its place in the horror genre. And the character of Jason Voorhees, definitely. Like, I hear you, Alex. The character,
I totally agree with you. I'm not shitting on the character, and I'm not shitting on the franchise. But if you ask anybody that's a true horror fan, that says, name me the top 5 I don't even think he'll be coming close to 5.
Another conversation, another show, maybe.
Oh, no. It could be another show, another conversation.
That's a good idea.
If you ask me which one do you prefer, Michael Myers over Jason Voorhees, I'm going to take Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Halloween 3 is not a Halloween movie, but I enjoyed the crap out of it. I love the damn movie.
Let me tell you, if they were to have made Jason versus Michael, it would be the greatest silent film I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing we'll say.
Neither of them talk.
Only
not
breathing.
Really. One breathes and the other choo choo cha cha. So it's not like
the other one breathes too, because you see him like this now. You'd be like, right?
Like,
you know what I speak of? Yeah, you'd be breathing mad hard. Like,
one has like the one note piano sound, the ding 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 ding. The other one's like choo 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 cha 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 cha. Choo 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 cha cha cha. Ding 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 ding. Choo 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 cha cha. It's like, who's coming?
Wait.
Where's it coming from?
That would be cool.
That's the remake.
That's the remake.
When they coming in to attack you at the same time. It's like do cha cha cha. It's like, wait a minute, who's gonna kill me already? Someone kill me already.
Because I can't handle these franchises anymore. Just get it over with. Put me out of my misery. I get freaking
No, but seriously though, I mean, Friday the 13th is always that appeal, that fun appeal.
Yeah, absolutely.
When they did the reboot, I was kind of excited for it because I was like, oh man, they could continue on with our newer technology of making newer films. So I was like, oh, this is going to be good, which it raised, I mean, it grossed a lot of money, Friday the 13th remake, but it didn't go nowhere. And
well, you know what I liked about Friday the remake, if I can just briefly say it before we close? I liked how they were able to integrate the first 3 Friday the 13th movies. They kind of integrated all 3 of them in some way into one to kind of show you his history and how he evolved. You know, the whole thing with his mom and what happened with his mom in part 1. Then when he was wearing the bag over his head with the one eye thing. And then finally the mask. Like it kind of, you know. And I didn't find it rushed because I found it like it just happened at the time when it did. And I liked it. I liked the remake. And I haven't seen the remake in a while. I'm going to try to see if I can catch it.
But I haven't seen it in HD either, but I remember liking it a lot.
I think the person that actually made the remake was the same person that made the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I
Michael
think you
Bay.
might. I think you might be.
Michael Bay.
Bay. Somebody last name Bay. I forgot his first name.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Alex is gonna look it up.
The person that came up with the storyline for the reboot was the same person that came up with the storyline for Freddy versus Jason.
Freddy versus Jason. Oh, well, you're talking about something else now.
No. I said that the person that produced the film of the remake was the same person that produced the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay, so where did Freddy versus Jason come from?
But then I had also said, but the person that came up with created the story for that reboot was the same people that came up with the storyline for Freddy vs. Jason.
Okay, I hear you. Alex, hurry up.
No, I got it. I'm just pulling up. So
there
the
you
budget
go, guys.
was $19 million. Opening weekend made $40 million.
Right.
Grossed $65 million with a worldwide of $91 million. It made its money
that's a
back.
lot. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that means a lot of people enjoyed.
Who produced it?
The producer. It was said Marcus Nespel.
Okay.
He's the director. Writer was Victor Miller.
Okay.
Damon Shannon was one of the writers.
Okay.
Mark Swift, it was his story. Mark Whedon, story by Damon Shannon, and Mark Swift was the so basically the same dudes that did Freddy versus Jason.
Freddy versus Jason, yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
It's funny because they got this movie right, but Freddy versus Jason didn't get right. But,
I know, right? Crazy.
That's
all right, guys.
When you have somebody that made Godzilla.
That's another topic. I don't know. What do you mean? Same made which Godzilla?
No, the guy. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I was kidding. But I was telling
Ralph
you
was
that
he's in attack mode.
yeah. I was gonna go choo choo and cha cha. Thank you guys. Thank you for sharing your top 5. I thought this was great. Let us know. Please comment in the comments section below what you think of the Friday the 13th franchise out there. We're going to close off with these two guys plugging in their cool stuff. Alex, you are Ultra HD Geek, am I right?
Yes. If you want to check out all 4K reviews, Blu-ray reviews, and collectibles, that'd be unboxing, you can head over to youtube.com, Ultra HD Geek, and you can check out our website, levelsofgeek.com, where me and my co-host for the live streams of Levels of Geek, we put all our videos in one place so you guys can check out all our latest reviews and articles all in one website. So check it out, levelsofgeek.com.
Awesome. Jamel.
And you can follow me on Facebook with the Order, Jedi versus the Dark Side, and I will go down the list of a lot of things on Star Wars, which is graphic novels, movies, pops,
that's
pop
right,
figures, anything that you can think of, and I can just talk about it.
Jamel is a guru in this stuff, so if you're really interested in Star Wars, definitely check out his Facebook page for that.
You should do a YouTube channel.
You really should.
I was thinking about
that, Jamel. That's what you should do.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, why not?
Because
right?
Facebook, I mean, well, we could talk about it off.
Yeah.
I could think about it. Yeah, I could
All
talk
right.
about it to you guys. Yeah.
All right. So on that note, thank you all. Remember, talk to me, talk to us, comment below, and thank you for horror and coffee. Right? Drink your coffee. Don't forget to, all right, your Bustelo or your cappuccino or espresso or whatever you want. Right? Get that caffeine up and going. And stay safe out there. Keep those masks on. I'm not talking about the Jason type. You know what I speak of. All right, guys. Take care. Choo-choo.
Cha-cha-cha kind.
Chaka Khan.
Chaka Khan.
Later, guys. Take care.